Hey, if you're getting this, that means that your simple church prayer is set up. And so what I want to do in this video is I want to really quickly give you all the information that you're going to need to just get up and running with it, okay, for your church. So you're going to get, the first thing you're going to get from me is you're going to get an email from Airtable. And that email is going to be inviting you to a base that has your name and your information in it, okay? When you open that base, it's going to look something like this. It's important for you to understand that this is just for you and it's just for church staff. This is something that your church members are never going to see and they're not really supposed to see. This is just the place where you and your church staff manage prayer requests, okay? And so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to jump into the info tab, and you're going to want to go through this and change the information so that it matches your church, okay? By default, it's going to have information about my church in it. You're going to want to go through, change the URL, your address. You can change this square logo here. And then we have these two color fields here, the light and dark color, and these are going to affect the colors on the actual website. So you might want to change those. It's just hexadecimal color codes. If you need help with that, I can help you. But that's it. That's it for the info. And then back on requests, let me really quickly explain what's going on here. Okay, so there's actually two views. They're called views that are important here. There's one that's called all, and there's one that's called active. All has all of the prayer requests on it. All of them, it'll just keep going and going. It doesn't matter how old they are. They're all going to show up on here. Okay. Active are the ones that are actually showing up on your website, the ones that are actually showing up in the prayer handout. And by default, that's set to be things that are less than 3 weeks old. You could actually change that by clicking on this button here that says 2 filters. Right now, there's 2 things that are going on. If you click this remove from prayer list, it's going to take it off the list. And the second thing is it says it has to be within the last 21 days. You can change this 21 to be whatever you want. You can say 365 days, whatever, or 7 or 2. It's completely up to you, okay? But this is where you're going to change that. So that's it. That's all there is to know here. You just go through, add the prayer request, sample. I'll just do a sample here. You give some details. You have a type. There's 5 types. Unfortunately, can't add to those right now. These were just the ones that I talked to some pastors, and we kind of decided on these 5 types as the most useful. Okay, so you choose which type that this belongs to. You choose the date. The requested by is just for your purposes, and then you must click approved. And that's it. It's super simple. It's meant to be super simple, and there's just not a whole lot to it. All right. Now, the second part of this is the web app. When you get this, you need to give this to your church people if you want them to use the web app. Just tell them to go to simplechurchprayer.com and then tell them what your unique ID is. That unique ID sort of serves as a password. After they put that in once, they won't have to put it in again. Okay, it'll save it in their browser storage, and it's just a one and done type of thing. And unless they clear a bunch of stuff in their browser, they'll only have to add that once. Okay, once they add that, they'll have access to this web app where they can go through. They'll be able to add prayer requests by clicking on this plus button. Now, it's important to note that when they add prayer requests, the prayer requests are not automatically added to the web app and added to the printed prayer list, but they do go in the base, and the approved isn't checked yet. So all you have to do is you have to go in here, see those, click approved, and then it will be added to the base, okay? So there's that. And then to click on this, you just click on this to generate the actual handout. One other thing to note is that the ministry and the missionary prayer request, it's kind of intended for there to be 1 or 2 of those per handout. And so if you start adding more, it's just not going to look right. So the health needs, the spiritual, the other, they're going to be in this main column here. The missionary and the ministry are going to be over to the left, and there really should only be 1 or 2 of these missionary or ministry prayer requests per handout. Okay, that's it. It is a simple tool. It's intended to be a simple tool, but I think it's useful, and I think it's something that a lot of churches could benefit from. If you have any questions, fire an email at me, pastorryanhayden at gmail.com, and I'll do my best to help. Thanks.